I was expecting the worst, and I'm still somehow disappointed. So this right here is a, well, how do I even describe it? Bootleg Lego, bootleg Gundam Barbatos that transforms into some kind of aircraft. One more time, bootleg Lego, bootleg Barbatos transforms into aircraft. I mean, honestly, I know this company right here is sketch as hell, like I'm not even going to go into it, but the allegations against them are up to and including the sale of human flesh. So, you know, do your own research before doing anything, and more than likely the product itself is not safe. So anyway, this is blatantly out of morbid curiosity. One of you guys threw a comment in one of my videos before and said, buy a bootleg Gundam off of Temu. And I was like, well, maybe I will. And when I went on there, there are some kits and stuff, but this thing just took the absolute biscuit for ridiculousness. Now, it does go without saying, this is a company I do not endorse whatsoever. But as for a company I do endorse, before I get into this anymore, I have to thank today's sponsor. Build a huge life-size metal infinity gauntlet with Fan Home. Choose your collection or build up models, subscribe, and every month you'll receive new products and magazines with inspiring content. This collection gives you the chance to build this exclusive version of Thanos' gauntlet, full scale at 73 centimeters tall, made of metal, hand painted to achieve chrome effects, and full light up LED infinity stones. Every month you'll receive new parts with easy to follow assembly instructions and a magazine deep diving into the movies as well as the comics and people who inspired them. After busting this thing out of the box, I was absolutely blown away. I knew this thing was made of metal and big, but this thing is insane. LED units need to be inserted, the mechanisms for the Infinity Stone buttons, massive plates of metal armor. This has it all. The detail is insane. The metal is beautiful and catches the light so perfectly. So far I've finished 3 Infinity Stones, the back of the hand and the palm. That's all so far, but this is one mighty model. Subscribe now and you'll receive exclusive gifts including a t-shirt, mug, cap, and posters. Subscribe to Premium and you'll get the Premium base. So if you want to build the ultimate Infinity Gauntlet, then head on over to Fan Home and use my promo code, and link is down there in the description. So this right here, like I mentioned, is an unscrupulous package from China, which probably doesn't meet any kind of Western safety standards whatsoever. Now, I'm going to be wearing gloves while I'm dealing with this right here, because I once built a bootleg Death Scythe Gundam from China, and I ended up with the worst skin rash, cracked skin, dry skin. It was nasty. So I am not going into this unprepared. So, dodgy package time. Okay, so inside of the old bright, happy packaging, we've got more grim, block of nefarious illegal substance packaging. Okay, so let's open that up some more. I kind of expected maybe some kind of box. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, it even comes with one of those Lego block separators in beautiful nuclear biohazard lime green. And, a guy. What the absolute fuck? I don't know what to say. It's a ninja Batman Lego bear brick. With a pickaxe. And a flare gun. Yeah, that's the Iron-Blooded Orphans I remember. Okay, let's continue on deeper into the bag. This is a solid bag. There's some solid plastic. Yeah, quite a lot of pieces to this. Oh look, they're labeled like actual Lego. We've got 1, and we've got stage 2. Cancer. There we go. This is a transforming mecha. Bit of a close look at that. That is 100% Gundam Barbatos. His sword is backwards for some reason, and he turns into a fighter jet or some kind of X-wing. Man, things just keep getting grimmer and grimmer. We've got stickers. Okay, stage 1, build a leg and a body. Let's get her done. So I'm just going to interject right here really quick in the video just to mention that one of you guys did mention on the post I made in the channel that this is a stolen design. I did not know that, so I went and googled around a little bit trying to find the designer of this, and it's this guy, Ransom Fern. So he does have a YouTube channel here as well as I think a Flickr. So if you do want to see more about this design and how he designed it, I'll throw a link to his channel down there in the bottom. So, stolen design as well as stolen IP. Alright, so let's start onto stage 1. So that's this old bag here. I've got the worst ever top-down camera up here, which actually is quite fitting because it represents what my site will be like 1 week post building this kit. Or should I say, Lego figure. These bags are bulletproof. Okay, let's see what it's like. Alright, so they are labeled as to their individual stages. So we've got stage 1, 2, 1, 7, 1, 6. I'm looking for 1, 1. Where's 1, 1? Here's 1, 1. Let's get it built. Yeah, these are not the parts of the first stage. What the absolute fudge. Yeah, there's no red 3 brick. There's no 2 3x1 brick. They're not in here. I assume 1, 1 means stage 1, part 1. Like, what the hell is this thing? It isn't even part of any... Oh, come on. What the hell? Is this 4? 4? Okay, this says 4, so I assume it's 1, 4, and then there's 1, 1 here, but I don't see any of these little right angle little dudes. These little guys right here. Oh, I set aside more time today than I thought I'd need for building this because I thought it'd be a clusterfuck. It is a clusterfuck. So yeah, at this point I was very confused. I assumed 1, 1 meant that's where you start. Part 1, stage 1. That just makes sense. The last time I built a Lego, which is quite a while ago, that was kind of the way it works. Just work your way through the bag. So I took a look at this part right here, this square piece with a bit of a joint on it. It stands out a lot, so I figured I'd be able to find where in stage 1 I actually do this. And I went through page after page after page, searching and searching and searching. And I found it on part 1, stage 47. 47. The bag 1-1 has a part from 47. Then I start to recognize some of the other parts that are also there. There's no code or anything telling you which bag you need to go to. So I'm just going to start this build at stage 45. That's where I'm starting. So I guess now we can finally try to build this thing. So I'm going to attempt to try the first click here. See how this actually attaches together. So we've got this little piece right here. This one. And we've got this little piece right here. So let's try connecting them together and see how well they fit. Strangely enough, better than expected. Wait a minute. Are you shitting me? The next piece I need, which is 2 by these little doodads right here, is not inside of this bag? Oh man, fuck, you don't know how Lego works, do ya? So yeah, then begin at the search through bag after bag after bag to find this particular one little piece right here. And when I actually did find the bag with it in it, I'm just kind of now a little bit on the frightened side that I'm going to use the wrong piece and I'm going to need that biohazard lime green part separated later. And that will be a nightmare trying to dig it back out again. I wish these bags were labeled properly, but that's what it looks like on, and I'm hoping for the best. So yeah, way more time into this than I'd care to admit, and at this point I'm realizing that every time I have to look for a part, it's in a different package. The labels on the package, they mean nothing, and the packages are just annoying, so I just grabbed some lids off spray cans in order to just tip them into, and I'll be able to search through there. The label doesn't mean anything, so what does it matter? Every time I thought I'd figure out, oh, they're in bags because they're either a 1 attachment section or a 2-part section or a larger... No, there's no rhyme or reason whatsoever. So yeah, I recommend having a whole bunch of little containers. Actually, I don't recommend getting one of these at all. Scratch that. So finally we get to lay into the stickers. How fun is that? So we need a number 32 and a number 35. And surprisingly enough, these are actually labeled correctly. And surprisingly enough, they're actually cut out. I thought the way things were going, I'd have to be cutting these out individually with a blade. But no, things are working out. At least when it comes to the stickers. Now let's try and... Oh great, it doesn't actually match the surface. Well, spoke too soon there. There's kind of a little gap around it. Hey, it'll do. So I just went and dumped them all into a box. Well, at least all of those ones, because I just couldn't find this part. Anyway, here is our first joint. This, I think, is a knee joint or something similar. It attaches in something cool. That ain't happening easy. There we go. Snapped on in. Oh, it's ratcheted. And then a leg was finally finished. Anyway, all that's left to do is attach this together. This is larger than I was expecting. I didn't know what size this would be, but this has come in pretty damn chunky. Which way is which here? I think this attaches on. So there we go. There is Barbie's Lego leg. Nice. Big. When it comes to the construction, it's actually built up quite well. It is really solid. The joints seem fine too. We'll see what it's like in the end. But the only real thing is the fact that the bags could have been labeled a little better. I did start to figure it out later on. You've got your bigger parts, your not so big parts, smaller in each bag. So it is kind of like 1 connector part, 2 connector part, 3 connector part with a gimmicky bit, and then the larger parts in another bag. It could be labeled a little better, but not the worst by any margin. So there we go, bag 1 is finished. Now I have to admit, this is colossally big. There are some weird issues like the chest isn't the greatest design ever, but I guess try and pull it off. They just went with some kind of weird wacky angles and the like. Otherwise, I'm missing 1 tiny little piece up here, which is a square. I'm not sure if I dropped that myself or if it's just knocking around somewhere or if it just was not included. Sadly, there is no opening cockpit, so Batman can't get on in there like he should. And there is the leg. We might as well try popping this on to get a bit of an idea of what size this will be. This thing is possibly perfect grade sized, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'll also mention there's not much holding on the waist right here, which I guess is accurate. How that will hold up, it's just 2 pieces. I'm yet to find out. But yeah, halfway point, getting tired now. It's time for some halftime food. Alright, so that is part 1 done. I can't believe so much Gundam was built from so little, what looked like such a tiny little package. Anyway, we're moving on to number 2. Might as well build little Batman here as well, I guess. I'm getting really into this more than I thought I would. I am impressed. This is big. I can't believe there's going to be some arms, a leg and a head in the next bag, but let's go. Alright, let's check out our alternative to Mikazuki August right here, which is actually Batman. So yep, that is most certainly Batman. Yep, because maybe they just throw a random minifig in. I'd say that. Oh wait, there's a little thank you on the back. It says thank you for supporting our product. So I guess this is a little gift. Oh, okay. So this is a little gift. He comes with your patented Gundam Batman pickaxe and Gundam Batman flare gun, as you'd expect from any serious Gundam show. Also, Batman's got a 5 o'clock shadow and this, a beautiful bear brick helmet right here. But anyway, on to bag number 2. Let's get it built and finally see what this Lego Gundam is like once it's finished. So I'm starting to get a hang of the organization of this a little bit more. So it's not like a normal Lego kit where you get each stage 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. These seem to be organized kind of, I guess, according to size. So I'm just going to empty these out the way I had before. I'm going to have the biggest parts right in front of me right here. I'm going to have the medium parts in this Gundam box where I had them before. And then I'm going to take 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 and dump them once again into those spray top caps, which are handy enough to hold on to the bits. So we've got a whole lot of bits in here, a lot of smaller bits than we would have had before. So it's going to be quite a bit of building to get to. And it looks like the first thing we're going to be taking a look at is the other leg. So this is the longest thing to build in the kit, so it's going to take me a while, so let's get right into it and get cracking. So working on through everything, and first off we've got this. The camera actually died while I was building it, but this is the side skirting armor. So we've got a little bit of up and down for the front. The side says warrior and moves up and down as well, and this actually attaches on in a nice kind of way. So this attaches into the rear skirting back here very, very simply. So it just pops on in there just like so. Nice and secure. On to the next bit. So the next bit in here is the arm. Now this is a little bit interesting for one reason and one reason only. I thought at first I was building the shoulder armor, but it actually turned out that what I was building was this right here. This isn't the shoulder armor, it's kind of a shoulder armor come upper arm. The whole thing is very, very interesting. We've got a whole hand, just 3 fingers. You can indeed flip the bird, so I am incredibly happy with that. And the articulation seems really good, but we look at that in the articulation. By really good, I mean it moves a bit. But otherwise, pretty cool. Let's get that attached. There are some funny shenanigans that are very non-standard Lego going on in there, but still, it all worked out in the end. And there we've got some arms onto the head. So when the head is complete, this right here is what we've got. So not really so much of a V-fin up in the air, more so kind of a back swipey kind of goings on. Now the only issue I had with this was the fact that I actually had this part right here, actually no, this one part here. I must have had 2 of one of these instead of, you know, basically I ended up with a odd side for each. So I actually just stole one of the pieces off of the leg. Otherwise I would have had one cheek pointing up like that and the other cheek pointing down like that, so it wouldn't have been right. Also, I think I might readjust the eye so it's not cycloptic in the middle like that, so that we've actually got a little gap in the middle instead, but we'll see. We'll leave it as it is for now. Let's get this attached. So once again, the chest is probably the most fragile aspect. Just popping it on, just like so. Oh, we gotta pop in the torso as well. Get back in there a little bit. Fragile towards the torso, but on the whole, well, we'll see how it holds up in future, but it's big, it's heavy, well, heavy-ish. Lastly then, we do have the katana, or the longsword. Sadly, we do not have a mace in here, so no mace or mace chance, just this right here. I will mention we do have nice blade on this side, but on this side it's just, well, Lego-y looking parts. So this means it's going to have to be held in this hand for it to work, because in the actual art, this little slashy part isn't pointing the right way. You know what I mean. Anyway, let's actually check it out. So anyway, this is built, and what can I say? This took me so much longer than I thought it would. I actually had planned to get a little bit of lawn mowing done today on top of doing this, but not a chance. The sun is going down. This is huge, massive, and a lot more involved than I thought it'd be. I've been building this all day. This at least took 5 or 6 hours, if not more. I didn't pay any attention to the time, but maybe even more, damn. Anyway, let's get it reviewed properly. And so there it is, finally finished, the Temu bootleg Lego bootleg Barbatos. I have to say, this is objectively absolutely awesome. I can't lie. So what can I say? I am utterly impressed, and I did not expect to be. This is, well, it's a very involved build. Actually, speaking about the Lego aspect of it, this feels identical to Lego to me. Now, I'm not a huge Lego builder. The last thing I built was the Razor Crest from The Mandalorian, but comparatively, this went together perfectly. Nothing's loose, it feels great, and it's been very well designed. The torso is a little bit funky, probably getting that shape down was difficult, but this is very well engineered, and it does look cool. The stickers are better than I expected, and the overall look is great. Now, I will mention, there is one absolutely huge letdown about this for me. So if there is one absolute lie about this, it's that right there. It says transforming mecha. They might mean in its lore, whatever lore they've made up, this transforms. But the actual thing here, see that? I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to get this transformed into this almost X-wing looking thing with no X-wings. But no, it's an assembly choice. So that's not gonna happen. I'm keeping this as a Gundam. But anyway, speaking of Gundams, if you're like me, what you want to know is just how big this is, because I thought this would just be a little bit taller than a high grade. Don't ask me why I thought that. In retrospect, that makes no sense at all, but there is a size comparison compared to a high grade Gundam. This thing is gargantuan. Move over, we get you fully size comparison. So yeah, there is a high grade compared to it. Next up, sliding the high grade all the way over, there is a Master Grade Gundam kit beside it. So as you can tell where this is going, sliding him on over like so. finally, there is the perfect grade RX-78-2 Unleashed. So, I thought he was going to fall down there. As you can see, and backing up ever so slightly, this, not Lego, not Barbatos right here, is almost as big as a perfect grade Gunpla. Now, I will mention this thing cost, I think it was €28, including delivery, which to me is absolutely obnoxious. They have to be up to something there to make those sort of ends meet. But this is undeniably a whole lot of Lego style, Gundam style, for not a lot of money. However, I am mildly disappointed that I can't fit BarBATMAN right here into the Barbatos in the cockpit zone. There is no actual cockpit. There is a little bit of hollow space in there, but it's designed more to kind of stay together than actually be used as a mecha, sadly. Anyways, the final part of the aesthetics right here. This is what this kit looks like, spinning that full 360 so you can see absolutely every aspect of this for yourself. Yeah, this looks really good, and considering it's using a Lego style as a basis, it does cover that up quite well. Most of the brick segments end up getting covered by a flat segment at some point. There are some here and there, but not a whole lot. This has emulated Barbatos very well, considering it doesn't have independent shoulders. We've got pistons going inside the body. It's held together via some pistons inside of the waist too. We've got some pistons round on the back of the legs, in the neck. Pretty much whoever designed this really does know and understand the Barbatos design. It's definitely doing everything it needs to do. What can I say? This is big, gargantuan, and a lot more impressive than I ever imagined it could be. I thought this was going to be a gag, a complete joke, but this was not. Honestly, shocked by this right here. So jumping into the accessories, and all we really get in here is the Barbatos longsword, but I guess you could also include the little parts separator too, which is really handy. It's pretty much like a standard Lego one. I don't remember that little plus part sticking out of a standard Lego one, but it did the job and I used it quite a few times, and it did what it needed to do. Also, not to forget the little Batman that came in here as well, which I still can't get over because he's a ninja. He's got a 5 o'clock shadow, a pickaxe, a little flare gun, and a bear brick hat. Apparently this is just a little extra they threw in for buying off them, so yeah. This right here is the longsword. As you can see, it's very plain. It's just made up of a whole bunch of parts, as well as this white segment round here. Round back, there isn't really anything going on. It's not very pretty, so it's really just for displaying from one side to one side only. Getting this into the hand is super simple. You've just got a couple of little brick bits, and they just pop on into the palm, which has the regular old Lego bit. So he doesn't even have to close his hand in order to actually hold onto it. The hands do have quite a decent little bit of articulation, so you can bend them around the weapon just like that. And that right there is what it looks like attached into the hand. It attaches in fine, and from this perspective, it looks pretty alright. So finally, now onto the articulation, and one thing I'll have to say about this is it is really solid, which is something that has absolutely flabbergasted me. It does hold up quite well. The center of balance is brilliant. It's so big I can barely get to it at all. This is extremely impressive, but what kind of moves can it bust? So first off, chest pose time. Whoo! And then it all came crashing down like a house of cards. Yeah, articulation is not this thing's strongest point at first. I thought the toes bent because they looked like they bent while I was building it. They broke off. Then I just tried to get it into a lunge. The leg just kind of stopped doing what it wanted to do. The torso is the most fragile part of the whole thing, and that just decided to let go of some parts. And then the shoulders decided they're not feeling too strong either. Basically, everything just critically failed at the same time. Now, it didn't fall apart. I can probably resuscitate and get him standing back up again. Let's see if I can actually manage to get Barbie back on his feet. He did not like that, so he didn't. So, okay. Alright. Okay. Oh, touching that chest. Don't like that. Alright. He seems to be solid enough when he's standing up. Yeah, one of the little bits. There's not a lot holding this torso together at all. So all that's holding this together is this one round back and this one up front, which, you know, is kind of accurate for Barbie. It does have a critically weak design going on inside of the waist area, but this is definitely it's taking the biscuit. Okay, the waist unit has just absolutely shit the bed on me. Oh, do not try to pose this. Just leave it standing there. Be happy with the fact that it stands up, and don't try to get more out of it than it can provide. Oh, man. Ooh. But yeah, that's me absolutely tapped for time for today, and this is taking a little longer to put back together. I think I'm going to have to take it apart into the elements in order to do that. It just doesn't want to. It failed. So yeah, looks absolutely great. Just standing there is a nice looking Gundam Barbatos, definitely. It was very inexpensive. Morality of the company and everything aside, you know, that's definitely completely up to yourself, whatever you think of that sort of thing. But yeah, moving a lot. It's posing up a storm. It won't be. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to FanHome for sponsoring this video, and as always, I will see you next time. Once again, this video right here, and none of these videos would be possible without each and every single one of you guys who watches my videos, and special thanks to those of you who are supporting me over on Patreon and here on the channel memberships, including 10 Soldier YT, Caleb Engelhart, Dashil Marmion, Go Little Rockstar, Joe, Lauren Seahack, RG59061, and Van Fawn.